Today, your latest high funda camera is old by next 6 months later. Technology is moving that fast. So, I hope this is clear. It's better to shoot always at the highest possible rate because you will have enough leeway to edit your pictures. And I can tell you this that there is hardly, I'm telling you, sir, hardly any picture that cannot be improved using a certain song. I had come to this very same place some years ago. There was an exhibition. I shall not identify because once my intention is not to harm somebody, but I have to tell you the thing. There are some 30, 35 pictures, 20 by 30. And after I saw the pictures, I went to the gentleman and said, "Excuse me, do you edit your pictures?" So he was actually rough with me. He said, "No, I don't edit my pictures. Stupid thing." I wanted to tell him that all your pictures are good for throwing it into the waste paper basket. But I did not. मैं खाली होकर क्यों पंगा ले उसके साथ? What was I gaining in that? Okay, if you're happy, you're happy. But there was not one picture that was good. Not one. Not good at my level. Maybe good at his level. Some of my old pictures, when I take them out, I again redo them. Every time there is an improvement in the software, I repeat my old pictures. And every time I find there a little improvement. So, as good as Fujifilm files are, it can always be improved. And they look punchy because with JPEG, you can also, and with all cameras, you can give it what they call it, picture profiles over there. So you can give it vivid or soft. There's several profiles, and your pictures will look that way, little different. All will look little different. So if you put it on one of these things that you like, supposing you're doing landscape and you put it on vivid, they will look much better. They will look better than your raw files because in raw file, contrast, sharpness, color saturation is not added. It's raw. Raw data for you to manipulate and do what you want. Okay. So, with due respect, please tell him that it can change. No, but if somebody doesn't want to, it's okay with him. It is his thing. I cannot put it down his throat. Okay. Have you ever tried taking landscape photographs? How many of you take landscapes? Almost everybody must have taken sometime or the other. So, I'm sure you come to this situation that in a, let's say landscape is here, you've taken the picture. And when you get your picture, you find that the sky is quite bald. Sometimes, so if you want to get details in the sky, you point your camera up to take only the reading from the sky. In which case the foreground is going to go very dark. So if you turn your camera now and take the reading, your sky gets blown out, overexposed. If you do in between, it's still not perfect. So what do you do that? And why does that happen first? First question is why does that happen? Anyone here? Latitude. Latitude. No, that's not the right word, but I know you are right on the line, but that's not the right word.
Dynamic range of the sensor.
Dynamic range of the sensor. What is dynamic range? Dynamic range can be different for different things. For example, Dynamic range in the voice of a singer, singing low tones, singing very high tones. The difference is the dynamic range. Dynamic range of a scene, the difference in the brightness levels from the darkest area to the brightest area. Dynamic range of an imaging sensor is the capability of the sensor to record details in the highlights as well as in the dark areas in the same single exposure. And then the dynamic range of the human eye, which is much higher. So, if you consider a high-end camera, I'm not talking about middle or lower-end camera, I'm talking about high-end camera. The usable dynamic range, theoretical much more, the usable dynamic range is about 13 stops. 13 stops. Now, what does that mean? So I don't remember the figures, so I got my chart here. 13, 13, 13, yes. So it means that, let's say you have a dark area of your picture and you have bright area in the picture. If the dark area is reflecting just 1 unit of light, it has to reflect something for you to see, otherwise you can't see it. So if it reflects just 1 unit of light, and the brightest area is reflecting 8,192 times more light. 8,192. That is 30 stops difference. Dynamic range of a sensor is measured in stops. But that's a 30 stops difference. Your camera, a high-end camera, will be able to record some detail in both dark or light. But the scenery often exceeds much more than that. And every camera is not a high-end camera also. Your camera may be 10 stops, 11 stops. If you go to 10 stops, it just goes to 1024 against 8,192. See the difference? The dynamic range of the human eye is roughly 20 stops. Again, it depends on whom you ask. There's a debate between 20 or 22. We'll say 20. 20 stops means 1048,576. How much is that? How much is that? 10,48,576. That means if 1 unit of light is being reflected from the darkest area of your scenery and 10 lakhs 48 times 576 times more light is being reflected from the brightest area, our eyes can see details in both, but the camera cannot. The camera can never see what your eyes can see. It just cannot record. So when people say, I don't want to do anything with image editing, I feel sorry for them. Because your camera is incapable of doing that. The basics are wrong. That's why we need to find a method of getting details in the bright sky as well as the darker foreground. So what do we do?